Hi everyone, my name is Vinay Kumar Sharma and I will teach you social science. This subject is divided into three parts: history, geography, and social and political life. In today's chapter, we people are going to cover the first chapter of history, that is an approach towards the past. After learning this chapter, you people will be able to answer the questions like what is history, importance of history, division of past, and the sources of history. So let's move towards first subtopic, that is what is history. So knowledge that is gained from the study of the past is called history. And the word history comes from the Greek word historian, which means learning by inquiry. So anything we study related to the past by inquiry, that is called history. And the persons who describe the past are called historians. Now, who is the first person who started studying the subject history? To answer this question is Herodotus. He was the first person who studied this subject and he is called the father of history. Now the question arises about the importance of history. Why we study history? We study history to know about the past events, cultures, arts, languages, architectures, and etc. But is there any relevance or importance of this subject in the human life or not? The answer to this question is yes, there is a lot of importance of this subject in the human life. Like by studying history, we can do a lot of things, like the knowledge that is gained from the study of the history is important to understand both the past and the present. When we study about the past events, from those events we can learn a lot of things, and by that we can make our present better. Similarly, we understand the continuous development of human beings by studying the history. It includes the study of literature, religion, art, and architecture. Now, whatever the sources available of the history, based on that we have divided the past into two parts: prehistory and history. Now, what is prehistory? It is the period of human development when writing had not been invented and human beings did not know how to read and write. This include the archaeological sources like caves, then coins, pots, etc. Now what is history? It is the period for which written records are available, when human being invented or knew the art of writing. After that, whatever is related to the history in the written form, that is the part of history. When paper was not invented, at that time the people used to write on the dried bark of trees, and we call them Bhoj Patra. So whatever we study in the history, that has come from sources, and we have divided the history into two sources. Number one, archaeological sources and literary sources. Now what are archaeological sources? Physical remains, artifacts, monuments, and coins are the part of archaeological sources. Some example of artifacts are pots, ornaments, weapons, etc. Some example of monuments are old buildings, temples, caves, etc. Similarly, some example of coins are which include coins made of gold, silver and other metals. Next, literary sources. Literary sources means anything we found related to the history in written form. So, under it we include religious books and secular literature. So what are the religious books? Writings that deal with religions is called religious literature, like the Vedas and Upanishads, which were written in the past. Secular literature. Writings which are not religious are known as secular literature, like book Arthashastra written by Kautilya gives us the information about the Mauryan kings. So this is all about for today's chapter. So whatever we have studied, let's recapitulate that. Knowledge that is gained from the study of the past is called history. We study history to make our present better by learning from the past experiences. The word history has been taken from the Greek word historia, which means learning by inquiry. Herodotus is called the father of history, and historians have divided the past into two parts, history and prehistory. Then there are two main sources of history, archaeological sources and literary sources. So whatever we have studied, let's do the quick revision of that. So this exercise, first, state true or false. Knowledge that is gained from the study of the past is called history. If this statement is true or false? Well, the statement is true. Second question. We can understand our present better by knowing our past. If the statement is true or false? The statement is true. Coins, old buildings and caves are the example of literary sources of history. Is it correct or not? Well, this statement is false statement, because coins, old buildings and caves, these are not the example of literary sources. They are an example of archaeological sources. Second question. Identify which of the following pictures is the part of prehistory. This one or this one? Well, the answer to this question is this is the part of prehistory, and these are the books, they are the part of the history. So this is all about in today's lecture. I hope you people would have enjoyed today's lecture. Thank you very much. Have a healthy and protected day ahead, and God bless you.